Hello, welcome back to Florida Aviation Network here at Sun and Fun in sunny Lakeland, Florida. In this segment, we'll be talking with Lieutenant Cyrus Gardner of the Florida Wing Civil Air Patrol, and he's got a lot to tell us about what's going on actually right here at Sun and Fun with the Civil Air Patrol, but I'm sure you got lots of other stuff to tell you. Cyrus, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, appreciate
it. It's a pleasure. We'll be using that one to look, and you can look at me if you want to talk.
Okay,
Because I'd love to hear all about Civil Air Patrol.
Gotcha.
I came up through CAP. I don't know if I got to tell you that, but I got my ratings through a CAP flying club back when we used private aircraft. And like I told you, I was a check pilot. And so I'm very pro CAP, and anything you tell us about the great things you're doing, we want to hear. So start with, how'd you get into CAP?
I got onto Civil Air Patrol when I was 14 years old back in 2004. I've been in it ever since. I got up through Cadet Major. I did a bunch of encampments. I did several other activities. I did, namely, I did Oshkosh. I didn't even know that Sun and Fun existed back then. Unfortunately, I know that's heresy. I understand, but I didn't. I didn't know. And
well, they are still bigger than us.
Yeah, yeah, but we're better.
We're gaining.
Yeah, no, we're the better air show for sure. Okay. I will die on that hill.
You don't need to. Yeah. Well, here's $20.
Yeah, okay, all right, gotcha. So I went to, there's a Civil Air Patrol program up in Oshkosh called National Blue Beret. I did that for a few years, and I went and joined the Navy. Flipped over to being a senior member after being a cadet. And I've been helping with the, I had a few different squadrons I was in, and then a few years back I joined Florida Wing at the wing level, and really my main purpose was to try to build and expand the program that Civil Air Patrol had at Sun and Fun here on the campus. And so that's what I've been doing, and that's how I got into it.
Are you still in the Navy?
No, I've been out since 2015, so 11 years now I've been out.
So you were in about 8 years?
I was in 4.
4 years, okay. Get to see the world?
I got to see nothing but dark, closed-in walls because I was a submariner. So I saw a lot of the world through the lens of a periscope. That's about it. That's what I've seen.
I heard a question come through, but so you were in a boomer?
No, I was on a fast boat.
A fast boat.
We like to go towards the targets instead of running away from them.
Oh, I can see there's a story here. we better not have. We got some Navy guys here. We better be careful. But
yeah, we have 2 P-3s sitting out on the ramp. I hate those airplanes. Because
they can find you.
They are the worst. Yes, yes.
So how long were you under? I mean, the boomers go under for 3 months at a time. You never did that.
My longest stint at sea was 7 months. My longest number of days truly underwater was, I think it was 86 days.
Oh my Gandhi, I'm sorry.
We had a line, we crossed it, we did some stuff, and we came back, and I think it was 86 days later.
Okay, and that line shall not be discussed here, right?
It was somewhere. It was in the water. I could say that. It was somewhere in the ocean.
We may or may not say it was somewhere you weren't supposed to be.
Right.
Okay, we'll skip that. Well, anyway, I'd love to talk about that, but let's get back to our topic.
Okay.
Focus, John. Focus. Let's focus on Civil Air Patrol. So you are now, as the first lieutenant, are you a squadron? No, you're attached to wing.
I am currently attached to wing. That is correct.
And so do you have a title within the wing, or are you just taking over this project yourself?
We don't have an official, like in the Civil Air Patrol system, name for what I do, but more or less I help out. I am one of 2 liaisons to Sun and Fun or to the Aerospace Center for Excellence.
Okay, so I know what liaison is.
Yeah.
I was an Air Force liaison officer
Gotcha.
for a while too, so that was cool. So so you're dealing with Sun and Fun and this center that we're in right now, the Air Center? Okay, great.
Yep.
All right, so what are things that you typically do here with you? Are you mostly cadets?
We have, it's mostly cadets. The majority of who we have here are cadets, but I've got quite a few senior members here. I believe 14 is the count. And the primary job that we do for air operations, so everything, I don't know what the correct term, there's probably a correct term. I call everything on this side of the fence, kind of where we're at here at CFAA and the Florida Air Museum and the Expo, I call that the people side. Okay. So there's people that handle volunteers that handle the people side of the fence, and then there's guys like me that work air side, and we handle the air side of the fence. So everything that we do during the air show itself, we have a few things that we do pre-event, but during the air show, we work exclusively on the air side of the fence.
So you're marshaling and things like that, or
Yes.
parking planes?
Yep. So I've got some members that go out and help Donna out at Donnaville, which is general aviation parking. I have a few members that help out with Warbirds out on the Warbirds ramp, which is the 523 runway and the jet team box. So we do a lot of operations out there. I've got a couple of members that are out way out at the end of the junction of 523 and Delta that help kind of pick and choose where the airplanes that are coming in are going to go or sorting. And then almost everybody else though, a vast majority of who we have, they work airside crowd control. They work that specific division of air operations.
And this is every day. You're not doing this just day 1 and day 7.
No, this is every day.
Every day there's flying in and out, right?
Yes. Yep. Every single day.
You get to marshal the Thunderbirds? You're waving them around? Or they have their own team, don't they, I guess?
I assure you that I have asked repeatedly if we can help with the Thunderbirds or the Blues when the Blues are here. And unfortunately, the answer has always been no.
Very politely. We got this.
Listen, I'll ask anybody if I can have a member of mine do marshaling, startup, pulling out, whatever. We did get the shout out to the Rhino demo team. They were the first one. So yeah, go Navy. They were the first one that decided to, hey, we would love to have one of your guys help us out. So last year we had one of my cadets, a 17-year-old cadet who's now about to start airborne, and then after that Ranger school in the Army. He pulled out the Rhino demo team.
Which is, for those of us who don't know what it is.
F-18s. Yeah.
The F-18.
F-18 Super Hornets.
But that's not the Blue Angels, right?
No.
Okay.
No, the Rhino team is, I think they have the Rhino, the actual demo, and then they have the E version. I think they fly too. We had both. We had the entire jet team box last year was all F-18s. So, except for the 35s.
Very loud.
Yep.
So I was just sitting over at the food court yesterday when the Thunderbirds were flying over. My gosh, don't try to do a phone call when that's happening, by the way.
Yeah, and just cease and desist. Just stop all conversations if the Raptor's in the air.
And just
you can't talk with that thing up there.
Oh yeah, that one's loud too.
I know. And both flights of the Raptor yesterday, I had both radio traffic and phone calls coming in. So I missed both Raptor flights yesterday, and it's like, of all times, now I have to be contacted. So,
but it's still critical for you to be out there to maintain crowd control, right, and keep the taxiways clear, things like that, right? That's so your prime. Is that Red Ace? Is that what?
Yes. So the event that we have, we call it Red Ace. And that's just I guess you could say that's the name that we came up with. ACE for Aerospace Center of Excellence. That's where we got that, and then red because the goal, the aspiration is to earn a red hat. So we kind of lean a little bit into that. All the other airside crowd control volunteers, when you start working for airside crowd control or in general for air operations, you start out with a yellow hat. So we call them yellow hats, and they help us with what the job is. And then once you have proven yourself and you've done 40 hours or more or a few years or more, and we understand that you know the operation of the airfield and you know how to lead everything that's going on out here. We kind of graduate you into a red hat, and so that's the idea that's the name behind Red Ace and why we called it that.
So there's probably people here who know what you're talking about with the hats, but
yep.
I don't get out to that side because I'm held captive in here.
Gotcha.
All day, but so people wearing yellow hats have different functions than people wearing red hats?
Yeah, so everybody working air operations and airside crowd control, we pretty much all do the same thing, but the red hats are the supervisors. They're like the team leads.
Okay.
And then we have two specific locations, one at the Bravo 3 intersection, which is where the heavy ramp, where all the fun big airplanes are, where the two P3s are right now. And then we have right, and the Guppy, correct, concert stage, etc. Usually C-17, but I don't think we have that this year. That's the heavy ramp, and then people can transition from the heavy ramp over into where all the Warbirds country is, and into the prime air show viewing area, which is free, by the way, if anyone comes out here and wants to go to that. And then that transition zone, the best place to cross is at the Bravo 3 intersection, and that is primarily where we are focused. And the reason why we are focused there on Bravo 3 and the Bravo taxiway is because that is an active taxiway where we have performer planes, we have inbounds, outbounds, warbirds, jets, we have everything that there is on this airfield. Sometimes they go all the way down to Sierra. Most of the time they stay right here at Bravo. They turn off at Delta and turn right down Bravo.
So you're the security, really. You're keeping people alive by not letting them out on the taxiway when something big that could crush them is coming along.
Yeah, I would. The way that I classify it is I like to say that we care about people as opposed to airplanes. And then other volunteers, such as Airside Ground Safety, they care about airplanes as opposed to people. I mean, we all care about everything, yes, and it all goes into it.
It's the emphasis, the focus.
Right, the emphasis, the focus. And so that's what we do. And what I like to tell my cadets and my members is, boring is good. That's what we want, okay? We want everything. We want everybody to enjoy the air show, have a great time, and we don't want any excitement. We want to keep that.
That's such a pilot thing to say. I love that. Boring is good.
Yes, right, exactly. And then we get to keep doing it. So,
are you a pilot also?
I am, yes.
Where have you gotten in your piloting?
I am very strictly, and I'm completely unashamed to say this, I am a fair weather pilot. If there's more than like 3 clouds up there, I'm just going to stay home.
So you're a private pilot?
Yes, I am a private pilot. I've got about 280 hours.
And you're CAP Form 5 pilot?
I am, yes. Okay. I can fly the CAP airplanes also, but I don't get a lot of opportunities to do that.
Okay. I remember I used to give those Form 5 and Form 91 check rides. And I like your attitude. I think we would get along fine in the cockpit because anybody who's going to say boring is good, that's somebody I want to fly with.
Yeah, exactly.
I have another thing here about Sun and Fun volunteering. And if somebody wanted to, well, first of all, you're using strictly CAP members at this time, right?
So we have our area, the area that I'm the chairman over, we have predominantly mostly Civil Air Patrol.
Oh.
We do have a few others that are not Civil Air Patrol that kind of work with us and work to support either the CAP or work and to support other areas. For example, the member that I have that is currently working at the end of at the junction of 523 and Delta, she used to be a member of Civil Air Patrol and of Red Ace now, and she is out there and she's just working strictly as a part of our area.
So it is possible for a non-member to be on your team?
Yes, that is correct.
But it's easier if they go to gocivilairpatrol.com and sign up.
Correct. The emphasis is on Civil Air Patrol members.
Yeah.
And by the way, great shout out to our website, gocivilairpatrol.com. The best thing to go to on that website.
You would think I'm familiar with it.
Right, exactly. The unit locator. And it works well 90% of the time. And the other 10% of the time, it works awfully 100% of the time. but most of the time, that unit locator is really, really quite good. We keep it up to date as much as we possibly can. If you put in a zip code or city state into it, it will bring up to you multiple nearest squadrons to you. And with a point of contact, you can simply place a phone call, figure out meeting times and meeting location, and then go and try us out.
So when do you start planning for Sun and Fun, which starts second week of April? When do you start planning? What, you're starting planning now for next year?
I was going to say, there's, 2027 has already started. It started a couple weeks ago, quite frankly. So I like to jokingly say I have 1 month off. The month off is when the air show ends until the chairman debriefing. So I come back down here again for that, and that's my 1 month off, and then it's right back to work planning for this event for the other 11 months of the year.
So where's your go-to? Do you have some squadrons you go to get people, or do you just? I assume since you're attached to Florida Wing, you're going mostly to Florida.
So currently, it is a Florida Wing event. We are currently working and trying to see if we can get it to become a national level event, but it is hosted by Florida Wing and the Florida
General
Wing.
Bailey was here.
Yep,
you saw
he was.
Okay, good.
Yep, I met him. He was here.
He can help you.
Yes, trust me, he's gonna. I don't know whether he's planning on this or not, but him and I definitely have to have some conversations about that. But currently, Colonel Panzera, the Florida Wing commander,
he was here too.
Yep, it hosts underneath him, but we advertise to the entire country. Okay. So we have a number of other states worth of cadets or senior members that are here. We've got, let's see, Utah, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, and of course, quite a few from Florida, and Ohio. Oh, and Indiana, Ohio and Indiana. So those are all the states that we have currently here represented. And we have members that travel from that far just to come do this event.
So if somebody, let's concentrate on CAP members right now. Where do they go to volunteer for Red A's?
The way that if you're a Civil Air Patrol member, the way that we advertise it is we come up with a operations plan, and that plan is then sent up to the wing level, and then our wing commander communicates that with region, which is we're a Southeast region, and then from there it goes out to the other regional commanders and to the other wings, and then in general the respective wing commanders will make sure that their communications team sends it out to all of the squadrons.
So I'm going to get it in from my wing commander's email.
That should be the way it works, yes.
Okay, because I still get those.
Yep.
I get all the wing commander emails. All right,
good.
So that's how a CAP member can look. And there's a link there or somewhere where they can go.
And Civil Air Patrol Civil Air Patrol also has a new function within e-services, our online portal called Registration Zone. All of Red Ace is in Registration Zone. We put it in there every year. It's open to the entire country. There are no prerequisites or special things that you have to go through, regardless of what wing you are in. And you simply go to Registration Zone, type in Red Ace or search for it. It'll come up during the Sun and Fun dates. We always start 1 week before the air show, and we go until noon on Monday after the air show ends. So we'll be here
people in place that whole time?
The whole time.
So you're just led me perfectly into my next question.
Okay, awesome.
Walk me through a typical day of a volunteer. What time do they show up?
If I focus on, so all of our volunteers show up on Thursday pre-show. So we got here last Thursday.
All right.
That's when all my volunteers show up, and we camp out right here at the Aero Club for the duration of the pre-show and the expo setup, the air show itself, and then we're out of here Monday at noon. That is our more or less hard stop.
Okay.
So any of the daily volunteers that show up and work with us, I only have 2 of those. That's usually very limited exceptions. We would just have them come in at whatever point in time they want to come in at, usually 8 o'clock.
So let's take somebody who's camping here.
Okay.
Reveille's at 6 or 7?
Yeah, Reveille's at 6.
6, okay. So a volunteer, then you send them out to a spot to work with the yellow hat or the red hat, whichever they work. And how long are they there? How long are the shifts?
So a shift is typically 2 hours, but we have rotations. We rotate at the absolute most every hour. Okay. And then at or that would be our longest duration. Our shortest duration rotation for when it gets a lot hotter, such as probably Saturday when it's up in the 90s, will be about 15 up to maybe 20, 25 minutes at most.
Okay. And then when they break, they go back to headquarters?
So,
HQ?
Yeah, we have 2 break areas out on airside up in the heat of the environment.
Okay.
And the
tents, I assume.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
We have 2 tents. We have air conditioning in the tents. I have this big trailer that I call White Castle. Hey, I am excellent at coming up with call signs. Okay, absolutely excellent. I have one cadet this year. His call sign is Spaceship. And we say it just like that every single time, even on the radio. That's his call sign. So we love doing that. Anyway, so White Castle, that's what we've come up for it. It's air conditioned, it's a nice trailer, and we kind of run all of the airside ops out of that area up there, and then we run kind of the event in general out of our campsite back here at the Aero Club.
Okay, so and then at the end of the shift, they get debriefed or something, and then they're off to go see the air show if they feel like it. They get some free time to go.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So every cadet here we have 2-hour time blocks where, as long as you're in group of 3, go out and have fun. But almost every single free time block that we have this year, we have cadets that are scheduled to do something. Quite literally right now, I have an entire group of cadets going out with Laz, the pilot of the F-22 demo team, and they're getting more or less a one-on-one tour and a pet the jet, a pet the F-22. A Pet the Jet experience, and we have that later this week with the Thunderbirds
you
as well.
You are good with the words. Good wordsmith here.
I've come up with all kinds of crazy terms. So.
Well, I'll tell you, Cyrus, I wish you could stay longer because we have a lot we could talk about, but we have run out of time.
Awesome. And thanks for having me.
It's been great. I love talking CAP. I've had a great experience with it. So people, I just want to thank you. Now, you heard, go civalairpatrol.com to go sign up to be a member. You'll get on the email list. You'll see these volunteer opportunities. Hey, you could work at Sun and Fun. It can happen. So on behalf of Cyrus and myself, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Florida Aviation Network, and have a great time at Sun and Fun.